So I got to have a chat with one of my favourite Aussie YouTubers the other day, Nixon Talks. The guy covers some really interesting topics and you should go and subscribe. Anyway, I'm going to show you a condensed version of this chat. If you want to see the full 50-minute chat, go to his channel, subscribe and watch it there. We'll get into it right after this quick sponsor. Law enforcement agencies are committing warrantless searches on people, all with digital data provided by Facebook and Google. This comes after police began prosecuting criminals in 2023 by using data provided by tech giants. Even if you're not committing any crimes, your data could be used against you and your privacy invaded by law enforcement. Social media tech giants are not on the people's side. This is why I highly recommend VirtualShield. VirtualShield allows you to browse, stream and work anonymously and securely from anywhere. It can help you avoid the prying eyes of advertisers, hackers and ISPs on nearly any website. Along with anonymous browsing using military-grade encryption, it also comes with a strict no-log policy, unlimited bandwidth across all devices and built-in malware and ad blocking. The best part is you can get a risk-free 60-day trial of VirtualShield for 73% off by using the link virtualshield.com/bear or clicking the link in the description below. This extended free trial is only good for a limited time, so sign up before it's too late.
Bearing, it's a bit of a privilege, I have to say, to be chatting to you, someone whose videos I used to watch and still watch, even watched your one today on the TSA fiasco, where the female had her penis grabbed by the TSA staff in America. When you talk about these things, what goes through your head? Like, how do you come about like discussing these things?
I find it very hard to sleep. Like I'll tell you a little bit about my life, right? So I've got a wife and a daughter and a house in Queensland, and my daughter goes to bed at about 7 o'clock, and my wife puts her to sleep, and then usually gets up and does some arts and crafts or some bullshit, and I bed very early, like 8:30, but I don't go to sleep until about 10, 11 sort of thing, and I'm just watching bullshit on the internet. Except for your stuff, by the way. I watch a lot of your stuff during those times. That's the non-bullshit stuff.
Normally I set my shit to upload late for the American audience, but yeah, I appreciate that. That's the thing. It's like if I post something around 10 p.m. Australia time, that's early morning for the Yanks. Whereas if I post it at like 10 a.m. Australia time, that's like 8 p.m. for the Yanks. So it just depends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose our content is different. You sort of do more long form stuff, whereas I do sort of like 7, 8, 9-minute videos, 10-minute videos if you're lucky. And I often joke about this with my dad. I say, Dad, I'm in the business of giving people a bit of a chuckle while they're having a shit. And he goes, fair enough, son. Listen, if there's a buck in it, you can do it. That's fine.
Hey, there's a market for everything all over the place, man. Don't deny it, man. You'd be surprised how many people actually watch content while they're taking a morning dump. When did you actually first start? Because I went back last week and had a dig through some classics that I consider of yours. A couple of back and forths with one famous Steve Shives. There was also some cuts that you had. Was it you that had a beef with the Angry Aussie?
Oh yeah. That was him. Very early on. So I started my channel, I think it was in September 2015. I think the first year and a half of my channel, I was using an avatar that was the bear out of I can't remember the show. It was some Canadian cartoon, right? Because I was just a bloke in his bedroom just taking the piss, right? It was just for fun. And so I used this avatar, just like people use avatars out of The Simpsons and that. And then it started to get views in that. And so this animation company from Canada issued all these copyright strikes against me and shut down my channel. And so I had to delete like, I think 200 or 300 fucking videos. And so that it was like a hard start again in like 2017 or something like that.
Wow, so you're making stuff even way back when. So you were I like to call it like the pre-Trump era, because that pre-Trump era was really where a lot of shit went down online. That's where you could be dropping like N-bombs and F-bombs, and chat was regulated, and you could talk about anything and everything. You had Filthy Frank and everyone else in between. And then Trump happened, and then everything sort of like maybe not tanked, but the apocalypse was one thing. And there was a whole bunch of other shit that happened throughout the way. But you've always had like, I mean, I was reading the WikiTube, whatever it is, that the YouTube wiki they have for like YouTubers and online personalities, and they liken you to be like a far right commentator who's had beefs with the likes of Armoured Skeptic, SJWs and things like that. Would you classify yourself in that category though?
I mean, I don't have a beef with Armoured Skeptic because he's like, because of any political shit. I have a beef with Armoured Skeptic because he's just a fucking cunt. Like, I mean, like I don't have to hate you because of your political stance. I can just think you're a fucking idiot, can't I?
Of course, 100%. That's pretty much how it is. Like, I may agree with you on everything politically or same sporting team or anything else like that, but I can just despise you for whatever reason apart from that. And that's still valid in some people's eyes. So when you first started making videos like you did as a hobby sort of a thing, did you ever think you'd ever take off and reach the heights that you did? I mean, 500,000 plus subs. I mean, in Australia nonetheless. I mean, nowadays we've got like the likes of, you know, Isaac Butterfield sort of like killing it at the moment in terms of like Aussie comedians doing like funny shit that you're sort of doing and like I tend to do on the occasion here. But did you ever think that you'd ever make it as big as you did?
No, and I never, nothing ever in my background was like adjacent to that. Like, I was never a comedian or anything like that. I played in bands and stuff like that, but yeah, I was never a comedian or anything like that. I don't think I am now. I mean, I make funny videos where I can. This is sounding like an interview. So how are you going, man?
It is a bit of an interview. Sorry, man. I've hijacked this. I just thought like have a conversation. You never know where these things might take you. I mean, look, my thing was, I still remember it like it was yesterday. I'm driving home from work as I normally do. Pick a few a few videos to watch on the drive home because I got premium. So I just let it play and just listen while I'm driving. And then I hear, you know, Bearing's video comes on and it's, you know, the Young Turks with the whole Joe Rogan controversy and everything else like that when he was, oh, Joe Rogan's a racist because he said the N-word so many times. It's just like, yeah, but did you actually pay attention to the context and how they were said? And then all I hear is remember saying like, oh, thanks to this legend of a bloke, here's a video. And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, well, I wonder who's found. And then I heard my voice and I freaked out. I thought the video played on to the next one. I thought, hang on, how the hell did my video get into this algorithm, into this mix here? And then I heard it. I'm just like, no fucking way. Bearing.
Oh, yeah. I remember that
video of mine. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? I freaked out. Like, you know, when you just like, you sort of like, you know, when like you get caught out and you just like heat up in a bit, it's like, oh, what the fuck just happened now? I got home and I stopped and I went back to the video and I watched it again. I'm just like, no shit. I have no idea how you found that video, but by all means, I'm glad you did, because it's almost
I found the video because I watch your content.
I have no idea.
You see, the thing about most people who watch your content is that they don't make themselves known and they don't comment and shit.
Yeah, that makes sense. But like, I mean, truth be told, I had to clarify as well. I'm like, shit, people are going to think I made this clip. I didn't make it. I found it on Reddit. I think I was just searching like for some clips to throw in there for context. And I saw it. I'm just like, what this is, but I'm going to throw it in. And I thought to myself, why didn't I put a reference in that? I go, now everyone's going to think I made this little supercut, which had me embarrassed because the last thing you want to be on the internet is, you know, taking credit for something you didn't do, which we all know is a pretty bad thing, or you maybe want to deny having done certain things, like a one Matt Jarbo with boulders way back when, if you remember. A classic,
God, I love Matt.
Classic moment in internet history that was.
I watched that stream, I reckon 2-3 times a year.
Oh, I watched it again a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's just because it's the most painful thing. The way he comes in and he says, it wasn't me, I didn't do it. No, it was not me. Oh, hi, Mark. And then and then all of a sudden, what was his name? The Ralph Retort's sidekick, Zidane, goes.
Oh, Zidane comes in, yep.
Yeah, hey, Matt, there's a way you can prove this. And
his fucking heart stopped. His heart stopped. He's like, fuck, I guess what I mean now. And everyone just like, but the best part for me was like, you can hear like a a young, healthy Ethan Ralph actually sounding chirpy and young with the high-pitched voice. Medico is doing his thing. And you just see Keemstar out of fucking nowhere just comes in. It's like, no, you're a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar. You did it. You show the screen or get the fuck out of my face and shit. I'm just like, bro, Keem came in with chest in that video.
Oh, yeah. That was internet history. That was a fantastic stream. And all you've got to do is watch Medica's video about it, because he sums it up in like 40 minutes. What's it called? The Ballad of Monday, Matt.
The Ballad of Monday, Matt. Yep.
Yeah, and he explains it in like 40 minutes. And yeah, that's the thing. I probably watch that 3 times a year, and just it's like my happy place. It's so funny.
It's it's one of those things that you just say to yourself, like, holy shit, I just need to watch this because it makes me happy. You're like, thank fuck I'm not Matt Jarbo. Thank fuck this has not happened to me, which is why I say if you're going to be online these days, at least be as honest as possible. Have a character, you embellish things a little bit here and there, but the last thing people want to see is you being fake online, which a lot of people get busted for being fake online, and then they do some dumb shit, and then they're doing some fake bullshit apology after that.
And yeah, the most stupid thing about it was, like, I always had this position where, like, if, especially in the early days, like, if I put something out there and someone disagreed with it, make a video. It gives me content. Like, that's my next video. I'm going to make some money out of it. I'm going to get some views. It's going to carry my channel, sort of thing. Like, come at me. As long as you, like you said, as long as you're honest and transparent, then, not much can go wrong. But it's when you start doing these sort of, conniving things that it fucks up.
Do you ever think that maybe you're thankful that you never revealed your face, you didn't become this online personality like Sargon eventually did? I know you had ties with Sargon, maybe you still do, I'm not too sure, but like obviously Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad.
I started YouTube with Bearing, and that the Bearing is the bear, so I'm not going to ruin that with my ugly face. So
fair enough. But do you think that it's helped you in a way where you haven't sort of revealed yourself like a lot of other people have, and that sort of like once you reveal yourself, it's like people then have like a proper judgment of you? It's like when there's a face reveal, it's like, oh, this is good, now I actually meet the person, or I prefer it if they just stood behind an avatar and didn't actually reveal who they were, because then you have a different opinion of them?
How do I answer that? Well, like I said, I started this channel as a cartoon bear, and so as long as this channel goes, it's going to just be a cartoon bear. The other thing is, like, especially back in the early days where I was, you'd get 5 to 6, 7, 8 million views a month. A good proportion of them from Australia. I couldn't stand the thought of going down to the supermarket and have someone go, "Hey, you're that misogynist from the internet." I kind of preferred my anonymity, and it's kind of just stuck. Like, I get to say some ridiculous shit, man, and not have people judge me for it. Like, my family knows, what I do on YouTube and stuff, but I don't really have a succinct answer. It's just, the bear's the bear. I'm me, and I think putting my face to the bear is wrong.
Sometimes you just look back at the old days of YouTube and you think to yourselves, man, there was some cracking times online on that platform. Just the shit you used to see. Like, you remember when like the first instances of like the pronoun talks and things like that came out? Like, you remember Riley Dennis?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember when Riley Dennis came out and said, "I'm trans and also I'm dating a chick." It's like,
I'm non-binary.
Everyone get exploded.
Yeah, I'm a lesbian.
Everyone get exploded. How can you be a trans lesbian? You're just a dude.
I'm non-binary, but I'm a lesbian. And like, what the fuck? And that infamous video, like, if you don't date trans people, you must be transphobic. And I remember like Abba and Preach did it back in the day. I think so many people did. I tried to find the original video. There's no mirror of it anywhere. It's all been taken down. But like back then, like, did you ever think that the world would actually push so hard in that direction when that first started in like 2015, 2016?
Well, I was just going to say, like, I mean, in terms of like internet culture, that's commonplace now. Like, did you see that there was a podcast? I forget what the podcast is called, but there was a podcast a couple of weeks ago where like this dude said, "No, I would never have sex with a trans woman because that would make me homosexual."
The whatever podcast or something like that.
Yeah, the whatever podcast.
Yep.
Yeah. And these chicks are like, oh, that's so offensive. That's so offensive. Like, what? How is that offensive? Like, and I was thinking about this the other day, right? So in 2015, it was just unheard of. It was ridiculous to say, well, if I'm not attracted to a trans person, that doesn't make me bigoted. Like that, that's completely reasonable. It doesn't make you bigoted if you're not attracted to a trans person. These days, it's like, well, if you're not attracted to a trans person, then you must be bigoted, right? You must be attracted to the trans person. So what's next? It's 2023 now. So what happens in 2029 or 2030? It's going to be like, wait, so you don't want to be a trans person? Cut your dick off right now, or you're a bigot.
Yeah, it's pretty much heading that direction. There are so many people I know who think like you, who think like me, who will not speak out because obviously their positions where they work and things like that. But secretly, we've had these conversations. But to think back then, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, to where we are now, like the levels that we've gone through, everyone was laughing at it back then. Everyone's taking the piss. Now it's like, every day you see a report. TikTok has not helped, man. If there's one thing I can't stand social media wise is TikTok. I fucking hate that. I hope they ban it. I'm not much for banning, but I hope they just send that thing into orbit.
Well, now we've got senators and shit arguing this stuff. I mean, did you see that that Green senator who crawled on the grass in front of Posey Parker the other day at the AC?
Linda Thorpe, wasn't
it? Yeah. Is it Linda or Lydia or something?
Lydia, something like that.
Something Thorpe, yeah. And she's crawling on her hands and knees trying to take her mic away, saying, you've got no voice here, you're not welcome here. She's a woman speaking up for women's rights. Now, go back to 2015 to think I'd be sitting here now saying, hey, listen, I think you should give women's rights a fair bash. I'd have laughed at you, right? But
yeah,
I mean, this is the place we're at. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Did you see the Auckland stuff?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, man, look up the Posey Parker Auckland stuff.
Oh, actually, I did see something about, I didn't look into it, but I did see something about that, yes.
She got, like, tomato sauce thrown on her. Apparently she got pushed to the ground and people were trying to stomp her head and stuff. Like, security had to get her out. She had to pay, like, 10 grand or something for a security team because the cops wouldn't help. And then she fled the country. I mean, this is a 5 foot tall, 50-year-old woman from the UK.
Yeah, she ain't big at all.
Saying, listen, women deserve their spaces. Like, we don't want dudes in the locker rooms, and chicks don't have dicks generally. Like I said, you can see the full 50-minute conversation at Nixon Talks on YouTube. Go have a look, subscribe. He's a good bloke. He does good content. Thanks for watching, and I'll leave it there. Catch you later.